In the summer of 2024, an unprecedented disaster struck India, causing devastation across its most prominent estates, government-reserved areas, ministries, and vital food reserves. The disaster was not a natural calamity or a man-made conflict, but an invasion of millions of rats and rodents that left communities reeling in its wake. The invasion began in the quiet border towns of northern India, close to a small neighboring country with which India shared a long, porous boundary. Initially, locals noticed an unusual increase in the rat population, but this was dismissed as a seasonal phenomenon. However, as the days passed, the situation rapidly spiraled out of control. Within weeks, the rodents had overrun villages and towns, gnawing through food stores, crippling power lines, and burrowing into the foundations of buildings. The destruction was swift and widespread. Farms were ravaged, with crops decimated by the swarming rodents. In urban areas, rats infiltrated the most secure neighborhoods, including government-reserved areas and prominent estates in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata. Ministries struggled to function as files and records were chewed up, while food reserves meant for millions were contaminated or entirely consumed by the pests. The economic fallout was catastrophic. Property and facility management companies, unprepared for such a massive and coordinated assault by rodents, found themselves unable to cope. The cost of repairs and pest control skyrocketed, and many companies ran into bankruptcy as their reserves were drained. The once thriving real estate market in India plummeted as confidence in the safety and security of properties was shattered. The international community watched in shock as India, a country known for its technological prowess and economic strength, struggled against an enemy so small yet so devastating. Foreign embassies, fearing for the safety of their citizens, began evacuating staff and nationals from affected regions. The sight of foreign nationals fleeing the country added to the sense of panic and urgency. In response to the crisis, the Indian government launched a full-scale investigation, enlisting the help of scientists, environmentalists, and security agencies. The investigation uncovered a startling fact: the rat invasion had originated from a small neighboring country. The rodents, driven by a mysterious environmental factor, had migrated across the border in search of food and shelter, overwhelming India's defenses in the process. Faced with this overwhelming challenge, India turned to its technological expertise to devise a solution. Scientists and engineers developed advanced rodent detection and eradication systems, utilizing drones, artificial intelligence, and bioengineered baits to curb the rat population. These efforts were supplemented by a massive public awareness campaign, urging citizens to secure food stores and reinforce their homes against the invading rodents. The battle was hard-fought, with the Indian government deploying thousands of troops and pest control experts across the country. The tide finally began to turn as the technology-driven efforts started to take effect. Within months, the rat population was brought under control and the damage began to be repaired. However, the scars left by the invasion were deep. The story of the Great Rat Invasion of India generated global reactions, with countries around the world expressing their sympathies and offering support. Many nations sent relief materials, including food and medical supplies, to help those affected by the invasion. Monetary aid poured in from international organizations, and countries like the United States, Japan, and Germany pledged to assist India in rebuilding its ravaged infrastructure. As the country slowly recovered, the Indian government implemented new policies to prevent such a disaster from happening again. Border security was tightened and environmental monitoring systems were put in place to detect and respond to potential threats from wildlife. The experience also led to a renewed focus on urban planning and property management, ensuring that buildings and communities were better equipped to withstand such unexpected challenges. The Great Rat Invasion of 2024 was a lesson in resilience for India. It showcased the country's ability to rise above adversity and adapt to new challenges using technology and collective action. The story of how India overcame this disaster became a source of inspiration for nations around the world, reminding them of the importance of preparedness, innovation, and global solidarity in the face of unforeseen crises. Moral perspective: in the summer of 2024, India faced an unimaginable crisis that shook the foundations of its cities, industries, and communities. An invasion of millions of rats and rodents ravaged the nation, causing untold damage to prominent estates, government-reserved areas, vital ministries, and critical food reserves. The catastrophe exposed significant vulnerabilities in property and facility management practices, leading to a rethinking of how such assets should be protected and maintained in the future. The destruction unleashed. The invasion began silently, with increased rodent activity noticed along India's northern borders, particularly near a small neighboring country. Initially, the surge in the rat population was dismissed as a local nuisance, but the scale and ferocity of the invasion soon became apparent. Rodents quickly overran farms, devouring crops and contaminating food supplies meant for millions in urban areas. The invasion crippled infrastructure as rats chewed through electrical wires, destroyed foundations, and infiltrated water systems. Government ministries, located in once secure reserved areas, found their operations paralyzed as rodents shredded critical documents, disabled communication networks, and disrupted daily functions. High-profile estates and commercial properties were not spared, as rats burrowed into walls, damaged pipelines, and rendered buildings unsafe for occupation. Impact on property and facility management. For property and facility management companies, the invasion was nothing short of a nightmare. Many of these companies, caught off guard by the sheer scale of the rodent onslaught, struggled to mount an effective response. Their existing pest control measures proved woefully inadequate, and the cost of emergency interventions skyrocketed. Companies that managed large estates, commercial properties, and government facilities faced overwhelming repair bills, leading many to declare bankruptcy as their financial reserves were exhausted. The crisis highlighted several critical weaknesses in property and facility management practices. Inadequate pest control protocols. Most companies had standard pest control measures in place, but these were designed to handle routine infestations, not large-scale invasions. The lack of contingency plans for such an unprecedented event left many properties vulnerable. Over-reliance on traditional methods. The reliance on traditional pest control methods, such as chemical treatments and traps, proved ineffective against the vast numbers of rodents. Companies lacked access to advanced technologies that could have mitigated the damage more effectively. Poor structural resilience. Many properties, including those in high-value estates and government-reserved areas, were not designed with rodent-resistant materials or structures. This oversight allowed the rats to easily infiltrate and cause extensive damage. Lack of emergency preparedness. The invasion revealed a general lack of emergency preparedness among property and facility management companies. Few had comprehensive disaster recovery plans in place, leading to chaotic responses and further exacerbating the damage. Future occurrence precautions. A new paradigm in management. In the wake of the Great Rat Invasion, the property and facility management industry in India underwent a profound transformation. Learning from the devastation, new standards and practices were established to safeguard against future occurrences. Advanced pest control systems. Companies began investing in cutting-edge pest control technologies, including automated detection systems, AI-driven monitoring tools, and bioengineered baits. These systems allowed for early detection and rapid response, preventing small infestations from escalating into full-blown invasions. Rodent-resistant building materials. New construction and renovation projects incorporated rodent-resistant materials, such as reinforced concrete, metal barriers, and specially designed seals for pipes and vents. These materials created physical barriers that rodents could not easily penetrate. Comprehensive risk assessments. Property managers conducted thorough risk assessments to identify potential vulnerabilities in their facilities. This included evaluating the proximity of properties to natural rodent habitats, assessing the integrity of food storage areas, and reviewing the adequacy of existing pest control measures. Enhanced emergency preparedness plans. Recognizing the importance of readiness, companies developed comprehensive emergency preparedness plans. These plans included detailed protocols for responding to large-scale infestations, coordinating with local authorities, and ensuring the safety of occupants. Collaboration with government and technology providers. The industry formed partnerships with government agencies and technology providers to stay ahead of potential threats. This collaboration ensured that property and facility managers had access to the latest research, tools, and support in case of future emergencies. Lessons learned. Building resilience for the future. The Great Rat Invasion of 2024 taught India and the world invaluable lessons about resilience and the importance of preparedness in property and facility management. Among the key lessons learned were investing in technology. The role of technology in managing large-scale challenges cannot be overstated. The invasion showed that traditional methods alone are insufficient and that investments in advanced technologies are crucial for effective management. Collaboration and communication. Effective collaboration between property managers, government agencies, and technology providers is essential in responding to crises. Open communication channels and coordinated efforts can significantly enhance the ability to manage and mitigate risks. Adaptability and innovation. The ability to adapt quickly and innovate in the face of new challenges was a key factor in India's recovery. Property and facility management companies learned that flexibility and a willingness to embrace new approaches are vital for long-term success. Global solidarity and support. The outpouring of international aid and sympathy demonstrated the importance of global solidarity in times of crisis. The invasion became a reminder that no nation is immune to disaster and that mutual support is critical in overcoming such challenges. As India emerged from the devastation of the Great Rat Invasion, it did so with a renewed commitment to resilience and innovation. The property and facility management industry, once brought to its knees, was rebuilt stronger and more prepared for the future. The lessons learned from this disaster have become a blueprint for managing and safeguarding assets in an increasingly unpredictable world, ensuring that the mistakes of the past are not repeated and that the country remains vigilant against future threats. If you find this story insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content on property, facility, and real estate management tips. Thank you for watching and see you next time. God bless you.